65 years of being everywhere. 65 years of stories, events, and of people.
A lot has changed since TV 11 first hit the airwaves back in 1954, but one thing remains: our commitment to you.
For the next 30 minutes, join us as we look back at some of the most memorable stories and people still talked about decades later.
Where we are standing used to be just a vacant field, but that would soon change. 55 miles north of Green Bay, Wisconsin, WMAM Radio started TV 11 with all facilities located in Marinette. Its first broadcast was on September 10th, 1954. It didn't take long, though, before the TV station WMBV for Marinette Bay Valley would call Green Bay home. By 1960, the entire NBC affiliate moved to downtown Green Bay and switched to the ABC network. Once in Green Bay, the call letters also changed. Playing on its channel number 11, WLUK was chosen to keep the theme Lucky 11. But the station wasn't done there, expanding yet again, this time next to the Brown County Veterans Memorial Arena and just a few blocks east of Lambeau Field.
I'm delighted to be here to participate in the groundbreaking ceremonies for WLUK. We not only have brick and mortar, but we have a new and better facility for public service to the whole community of the Fox Cities. And I want to say to all of you that I wish you good luck at WLUK.
Low ratings and a lack of finances caused WLUK to take the news off the air in 1967. It took 4 years to build enough money, enough resources, and enough on-air talent to bring it back in 1971.
The news relaunch was met with a strong on-air team. Al Sampson, or as Vince Lombardi dubbed him, Big Al, was the sports anchor and became Northeast Wisconsin's expert in outdoors reporting.
On tonight's show, we'll show you a few of the more spectacular wrecks and stories taken during the Wisconsin hunting season.
After a diagnosis of throat cancer, Bob Schultz took over at the sports desk.
The Bucks have signed number 1, Sidney Moncrief.
While the popular outdoorsman worked primarily from the field.
More highlights, more scores. News Center 11 Sports is next.
Also adding to the evening news powerhouse, Glenn Lloyd, the action man, fought for consumer protection and brought justice to the underdog.
I would like to get a sample of that and test what you have in the tank. There's no way to get a sample. All you have to do is take this off, turn the car over, and put a sample in a little jug for me, and I can have it tested. Let's do that right now.
Stanley Siegel and Ray Wheeler were named co-anchors, a first in the market.
Good evening, everyone. This is Stanley Siegel. That's right, Stanley Siegel.
Bob Thomas, a well-known meteorologist from Chicago, made his move to Green Bay.
Get out for tomorrow. By tomorrow night, then, chance of a little bit of rain.
And after leaving the station to sail the world, Jackie Brockington became his replacement.
You know, Bob, I've really got mixed emotions about this moment.
Yeah.
We hate to see you go, yet we're excited because of this dream, you know, that you're realizing right now, and you're being able to cast off on your boat and just do the thing that you dreamed about.
It's a culmination of a lot of years. And, sort of like you, I have very mixed emotions.
Good luck, good buddy, and God bless you.
Thank you.
That's our news for tonight. Good night.
Jackie made history at WLUK, becoming the state's first African-American on-air personality.
You can say that the whole day was mostly overcast skies, and we're going to have more of the same for the next 2 days.
WLUK is also credited with hiring the first female television news reporters, first woman news director in the market, and offered equal pay for men and women in all departments.
In 1975, new technology could put a reporter live on the air, even miles away.
Nowhere else but on TV 11 News. Scoop is first. TV 11 News with Scoop, the live action camera.
WLUK was the first station in Wisconsin to operate with this ENG, electronic news gathering transmitter. Scoop, the live action camera, was used for 30 days straight, covering the Native American standoff in Shawano County. WLUK was the only TV crew allowed inside the novitiate, and the stories were fed around the country. Also adding to WLUK's coverage was the Sky Scoop helicopter, usually tracking down breaking news, except this day when action man Glenn Lloyd granted a dying boy's wish to ride in a helicopter.
You happy?
Yeah. This is the best thing I ever done in my whole life.
WLUK is also credited with becoming the first station in the market to run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Live programming on WLUK expanded throughout the decades. 30-minute newscasts at 6 and 10 were replaced by hour-long newscasts at 5 and 9.
The news doesn't wait until 10 o'clock. You shouldn't either. Now there's Fox 11 News at 9, bringing you a more complete look at local news, weather, and sports when you want it, an hour earlier. Serving Northeast Wisconsin like no other news organization can. Fox 11 News at 9. Sooner, better.
WLUK's morning show, News 11 Today, later renamed Good Day Wisconsin, now airs up to 4.5 hours live every day. And after 12 years returning to the NBC network, WLUK made one final network change in 1995, becoming its present-day Fox.
The station has come a long way since those days in the 60s and 70s.
Coming up next, we'll relive those moments with some familiar faces.
You won't want to miss it.
Hey, WLUK and Northeast Wisconsin.
Congratulations on 65 years together.
Congrats to Northeast Wisconsin's most favorite station, WLUK, celebrating 65 years together with you.
In 65 years, a lot of on-air talent have served in this studio.
Many you grew up watching.
We had a chance to sit down with a few of them decades later to find out what really happened behind and in front of the cameras.
I was the first weekend anchorman at TV 11. And I got up here and I didn't know that they had Indian names that were hard to pronounce, like Shano and Ashwaubenon. Then I couldn't pronounce them. And on Monday, the boss called me into his office and he said, "You're no anchorman." And fortunately, I was a better investigative reporter. But I was the first weekend anchorman at TV 11, and I only lasted one weekend.
When I came, it was black and white film, 2 reels. We had 16 millimeter film, rapid reversal, so it was a negative, and you had to run an A roll and a B roll. And
You ended in the green screen. What did you start with?
Boards. The first boards were basically large wall maps. The wall maps would be usually that of North America, or at least a good portion of the United States and Canada. And then secondly, they'd have a more regional map. Eventually, that came to a degree of magnetization where you could put symbols up and so forth. And now, of course, the chroma keyboard and all of its applications.
I was the consumer reporter, the Action 11 reporter.
If you have a problem, write to me, Glenn Lloyd, at Box 77.
And at one time, I was getting 100 letters a day and 100 telephone calls a day. And we got a lot of good stories.
I had my first child practically on the air. I worked until he was, I think, 3 days before he was born, and just kept pushing back from the anchor desk. And about an hour after he was born, they showed up with cameras in my hospital room.
Oftentimes, we were working all day long, and I think a lot of people, when they watch television news, they think, how cushy is this? Well, what they didn't realize, it was a lot of muscle, and it was a scramble often to get to that news desk in time. I still, to this day, have nightmares once in a while that I simply can't get through that door from the makeup room to the desk and the newscast has started. It's this god-awful nightmare, but I think as an anchor person, you know where your job is. It's to be on that desk and on from the moment the camera turns on. But behind the scenes, you're part of the team to put the newscast together.
Live from WLUK TV, this is News 11 at 10.
when we started the news in '71, we did some really ridiculous